Hello, look like we are live. Hey, you guys. Hello. Y'all come on in. Y'all missed us on last week because we missed you guys on last week, but we wanted to make sure that we
Amen.
honored Mother's Day on last week. So that's why we were not live. Okay, we are live. I can see it on my page. Can you sit on your page, sis?
Yes, ma'am, I can. I
All right,
just
let me
can't
check out
see
the
you for
YouTube page.
some reason. Hold on. I don't see you on there. Let me see. Okay, I see you now.
It
All
got a
right, I
lag
got it.
behind for some reason. Okay. All right, let me just check the YouTube page. As you guys are coming in, please let us know where you guys are tuning from in the comments. We are super excited to be here. We are on episode number 4. Episode number 4 of Unfiltered Tea with City and Cheryl. And so we are super excited to be here as always. Let's see if it's showing that we are live. Yes, we are live. Okay, so I don't know why it's saying 12 minutes ago, but we live on our YouTube page. Oh, that's cool. So we're able to go live without our 50 subscribers. But we are here, you guys, and super excited to be here on tonight. It is our normal episode of Unfiltered Tea with City and Cheryl. And you guys, my name is Cheryl Mazik, and I am super excited to be here. Just to give you a little bit of background about who I am. I help women to heal from trauma from the inside out with workbooks, online courses, events, community, all natural health and wellness products, and with online digital income. And I'm so super excited to be able to serve, to help, and just pour into you guys and just let you guys know whatever it is that God placed on my heart to say, right? And so that's who I am. This is my beautiful co-host, Coach City. City, you can come on up and let the people know who you are and what you do.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. I am Toya, aka Coach City. I'm a certified life coach, and my target audience is the 9 to 5 aspiring entrepreneur. I help aspiring entrepreneurs at a foundational level, making sure that we make sure that God is first, and I help them by teaching them kingdom biblical principles to help them to be able to thrive in their businesses. So whatever they obtain, we want to help them to maintain it by staying grounded in the word of God. So that's who I am. And I hand it back over to you, Cheryl.
Okay, perfect. So, you guys, we are here. And before we get into the episode, I definitely want to, one, tell you guys to make sure that you like this video, that you comment where you guys are tuning in from, the city, the state, and then don't forget to follow the page that you are watching this on. You may be watching it on Coach City's page, Toya Citizen. You may be watching it on my Facebook page, or you may be watching it on our YouTube channel. If you are watching it on our YouTube channel and you're not a subscriber, subscribe, right? We want you to be able to come and get information that can help you really be able to catapult your life, right? And so before we get into our topic for tonight, we're going to talk about our sponsored product, which is the Core Cleanse Detox Tea. It is a gentle GI tract detox tea, and we both absolutely love this tea, okay? So this tea is going to really be able to help you restore and reset your gut. Who needs tea? Let's just give you a few examples of who would need the tea. Somebody that may be bloated, somebody that may always have cravings, right? Sugar cravings. Yeah, when you have a sugar cravings, you know what that is? That is the parasites that's talking to your stomach saying, feed me some sugar. That's what that is, right? You need to detox those parasites. If you are sluggish, right? If you are low energy, if you have, cannot sleep, these are all signs that you need to detox. And this detox is not the average detox. It's not going to have you going to the restroom all the time. It's very gentle. And it has really helped me. I'm going to tell you my quick testimony, and then I'll throw it to Toya so she can just tell, a quick testimony of what it is that she want to say about the tea. And then we're going to get into our episode for tonight. But my personal testimony on this amazing detox tea is, one, I was able to release 9 pounds of waste. Okay. I didn't say weight. I said waste. That means I had 9 pounds of waste that needed to be released out of my body. Okay. You ever heard that saying, you're full of it? that that good stuff, right? We all are full of it, right? We was like, we thought that was just a saying, but that's the reality, right? And so I was able to release 9 pounds of waist, and I also was able to release 4 inches off of my waist. I have amazing sleep, y'all, deep sleep, okay? And then the energy is phenomenal. So that's my personal testimony on our Core Cleanse Detox Tea. It's over to you, Toya. Hey, Miss
So
Alba.
yes, so my testimony on the detox tea for sure is it has definitely given me more energy and it's given me mental clarity. It has eliminated the brain fog at work. And also it has been helping me to flush out the inflammation in my legs. I was involved in a car accident a while back and my legs had been swollen and just attention that I didn't get a chance to give to myself. So I'm basically we're kind of like going through the recovery stages now, but a lot of that fluid build up and it's been helping me to flush that out and I feel lighter and better. So I definitely live by the core cleanse and gonna stand by it and gonna continue taking it because when I had gone to the doctor, all of my levels were low as far as my iron levels and B12, everything was abnormal and I was just exhausted. And so now, since I've been having the core cleanse in my life, I almost feel like I have too much energy. Like on Saturdays, I was used to taking a nap, and I'm like, I want to take my Saturday nap, but I can't because I've drank my tea and I'm up. And so I'm like, well, that's you've been complaining about being productive, and so not being able to be productive. So now you can be productive because you have a product that is helping you to do that. So I love it, and that's all I have on to share.
Okay,
And
awesome.
it tastes
So,
amazing. It tastes like lemonade. I
oh yeah, I
instead of
forgot
me
about
going
that.
to get sugary lemonade from the gas station or from some drive-through place, I put some ice in my little shaker cup and I have me my lemonade because it tastes amazing.
It does, and it does not have a nasty aftertaste at all.
Right.
It does not. Y'all, it don't taste like the normal supplement. Okay, sometimes you have some supplements you're like, oh, this is horrible. Like, what is this? That's
Yes.
not the tea. The tea really
Girl, let me
does
tell you.
like lemonade, like my sister said. Go ahead.
I got fancy the other day because I like sparkling water.
Okay,
And so
fancy.
I made me a good old sparkling lemonade and it was really good. So,
Good.
and but if you ever need that fizz or you want that, that feeling, I put it in there. I made me a good sparkling lemonade with it, and I just enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good, especially with some ice. It's really good, like for real. So, if you would like to try the detox tea, right? And Toya, get back with Toya. Say, hey, Toya, how can I get some of this detox tea? If you would like to try the tea, me, get back with me. If somebody may tag you on this video and they sell the tea, get back with them and try the tea. I promise you, you cannot knock it until you try it. All right. So that's all we got about our promotional product for this episode. And that is the Core Cleanse Detox Tea. All right. So now that I'm putting that off to the side, let's get into what we're talking about on tonight, y'all. Okay. We are talking about what's the topic? If I knew then what I know now. Okay. So if I knew then what I know now. So this conversation, y'all know me and Toya always be having conversations the earlier part of the day. And we're like, what we gonna talk about? And it stemmed from a conversation we was having earlier today. We were talking about, just how we were in our 20s and we thought we knew everything, but we was dumb. Okay. We was dumb. Okay, hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me put this thing on vibrate. Okay. I got you. So we were dumb. We thought we knew it all, but we ain't no jack. Okay, we didn't know jack, and so because we didn't know jack, we was just thugging it out in life, right? Thinking we know everything, being hot in our heads, and we didn't know anything. And the reason why I say we didn't know anything is because we kept bumping our head, even though our mama was telling us what to do, right? That we shouldn't do this and we shouldn't do that. But hey, we thought we knew everything. And so, hey, Miss Vanessa, hey, Miss Tiffany, hey, Miss Alva, thank you guys. And those are the names that I can see on the line. that are on here. If you are tuning, let us know where you guys are tuning from in the comments. And so we just thought about, the wisdom that our mothers gave us, the wisdom that they gave us, we can appreciate it now in our 40s, and how so many ladies and men as well, but we're women and we can only really talk from a woman's perspective. A lot of people start life over in their 40s. Okay. And so it would be like, what would I tell myself if I had to start over again? What would that look like? What would I tell a 20-year-old that may be starting life now that can help her on her journey so she don't make the same mistakes that I made, right? So she can have that learning curve. And so that's what we're talking about tonight. So as we talk about these things, y'all put in the comments what you would tell your younger version of yourself. What piece of advice would you tell yourself, if you could today? If you could tell your 20-year-old self some advice, what would you give them about being able to just, live life and go through the things of life? And, what would be that one piece of advice you would give them? I want you guys to put that in the comments. And so my thing is, I didn't realize this, y'all, until I was like in my late 30s. So I think I was like 38 when my mom passed. And I really got the opportunity. God just had it so special that I can actually have the opportunity to be with her in her last moments. And it really gave me an opportunity to just have that time and be like, Ma, everything that you said was absolutely right. Like everything that you said was right. You was right about everything. I'm sorry that I didn't listen, right? I'm sorry that it took me so long to get to this point to recognize what you was telling me was wisdom, and you was trying to put me up on game, but I didn't want to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Right? And so one of the biggest lessons I would say that my mom was trying to teach me early on, that I'm just now, well, not just now, but a couple of years now, really has grasped, and it comes like with my finances. One of the things she used to say all the time, it doesn't matter how much money you make. What matters is what you do with the money that you make, right? That was one of the biggest lessons that I personally have learned, because baby, in my early 20s, my mama had to bail me out of debt at least 2 to 3 times. Okay. She paid them credit cards off like it wasn't no problem, right? Like she got money all out of the wise out, right? I'm like, was she rich or something I don't know about? But but she was able to do those. But this is the thing, when I got into debt for the third time, she did not bail me out. And that was in the season why I really had to understand, okay, I done got into this mess. Now I need to learn how to come out of this mess. Now I need to figure it out, right? In the importance of money, right? So some of the things they told us when we were younger when it comes to money, they would say things like don't get into debt or don't get credit cards. Okay, well, you got to give me some more information about don't get into debt or don't get credit cards, because good debt, there are some things that is good debt, considered good debt, right? And there are some things that you can do with credit cards. So that would be a lesson that I would tell my younger self, is really be serious about your finances. Really be intentional about where you spend your money, right? If you're going to spend your money somewhere, find something that you can invest in, something that's going to help you turn $20 into $40 and $40 into $80, right? Something that's going to double your money. So that's one of the first things that I would say to my young version of me. Go ahead, Toya. You go ahead, sis. I'm throwing the ball to you.
You don't even know how to throw it.
Woo!
You don't even know. You don't even know how to throw. Jeez, we've already gone through this multiple times.
Whatever.
Just hand it over. Just hand it off, please. So one thing that I would do is what I've learned from her, from my mom. One of the things is just not to have a hasty spirit, but also because I just, anything that popped in my head, I wanted to do it. And so sometimes, God will give us downloads, right? And God will show you things that He wants you to do and He's gifting you to do, but it doesn't mean that He's telling you to do it all at one time. And so sometimes you can be overwhelmed and excited because you're in an area that, hey, I need this, I want that. And because you don't really know how to get it and you're just trying to keep up, how they say, keep up with the Jones, if you will. When you're trying
Mhm.
to keep up with everybody else, you do stuff that is out of timing. It's not the right time. And understanding that for everything under the sun is a season. And to ask God, what season am I in? How do
Mhm.
you want me to do this? When do you want me to do this? Because that was something for me. I was just all over the place. And anytime an idea came or anytime somebody else was doing something, I'm doing it. And it's not my season to do that. Another thing was, my mom always says, bad company corrupts good morals. And
Mm.
so, and that's in the Bible. And so bad company corrupts good morals. And so sometimes some of the people that I chose to be connected with, they corrupted the morals that I was raised on. And so when you look at it now, it's like your life was fine until you start connecting with these people.
Mm.
Your life was fine until you got into these situations with people, and now your life started going downhill because that's not how you was raised. That's not what you was taught. But
Mhm.
because you have gotten in a connection with these people, bad company corrupts good morals, and you end up in a situation where you get in trouble for stuff and have to get bailed out of things that you really wasn't meant to be in the first place. And so that's what I have for that. I'll also go continue going on. We have some people commenting, so I definitely am looking at that.
Absolutely. We're gonna touch on that too. So let me piggyback off of you, right? The company that you keep is so important. All right. So I'm gonna tell y'all a story. Okay. How mothers have that intuition of knowing if that's good company or if that's bad company. Okay. So when I was 15, before I got pregnant, all right, I had this friend. Okay. And my mom was like, from day one, I don't want you hanging out with that girl. I'm like, what you talking about? Okay. She's my pigs. She's my girl, right? What are you talking about? She ain't no good. She's not good company. I do not want you hanging out with her. Okay. And so my mom knew it. All right. And so I still was trying to sneak around and hang out with the girl. Okay. When she used to work, us 80s babies, we grew up in the 90s. Okay. And so in the 90s, we didn't have no cell phones like that. Not on
Right.
well, we had cell phones, but it wasn't like we have now, right? And most of the time we had the house phone, okay? And of course, because I didn't have a cell phone, I left the house. My cousin was watching us, all right? My oldest cousin, Keisha, she was watching me and my brother. And my mama clearly said, do not leave the house, all right? I said, okay. I know what time she get off. I'll be back home before she get off. All right. And so guess what? Patricia Parker got off early and she made it home. And Cheryl Lynn was not at the house. All right. And so, of course, my cousin told her where I was. She came right around there. She came and got me. She beat the living daylights out of me. Okay. And she made me really stop being friends with her. All right. And so I ain't gonna take. Well, she beat me with an extension cord, y'all. She did. Now that would be considered child abuse. Now
Yeah.
that wasn't child abuse then.
No,
And
it was still child abuse. No, it was still child abuse. No matter how you try to clean that up, it's like no, you was it was still child abuse. But go
well,
on.
she abused me. Okay, I took it. And so because she beat me like that, I was like, oh my god, I will do whatever you tell me to do. Okay, and so I stopped being friends with the girl. And so that girl did not like the fact that I could not be friends with her. And so what happened was later that night, after I told her that I couldn't be friends with her, later that night, you know what she did? She came back to the house, to my house, and she threw a brick through my window, my bedroom window, where my bed would possibly be at. So to this day, I do not put my bed in front of a window. But she threw a brick in my window because she was trying to take me out because I could not be her friend. And so my mom saw that and I couldn't see that, you know. And so as mothers, we can see things that our children cannot see. And so the wisdom of that, right? And the think of Toya, stop laughing. The think of how important it is to keep the right company around you. Because the same people that say that they love you will be the same people that may try to take you out. So you got to be careful in the company that you keep, right? So that's
Trying to
all I
keep
was saying. Take care, keep yourself together. Go ahead. She can't even stop laughing. Girl, I'm telling you, you laughing at my at trauma I experienced.
and got beat like a runaway. And man, she didn't try to take you with the brick for not listening.
Girl, I
See
did. I
that?
got beat like a runaway slave for real.
Oh my God. I bet you, I bet you gonna learn today. I bet you learned after that.
I surely did. I told her clearly I cannot hang out with you no more. I cannot be your friend. And that is what it is.
You know, I think we have all got that one whipping that you just never gonna forget. Mamas. Your daddy's different. Daddy's not gonna whip you. My daddy gave me money, and then he told me as soon as he hit the wall to cry, or to yell. My daddy, he wasn't gonna do that. He didn't. He so I was real animated with that. Like when my mom called him over one time to come and discipline me, and yeah, but my mama was something else. But the thing is with women, mamas are gonna be tougher on us, and I even talked about this in church today. The mamas, they're going to be a lot tougher on the young ladies because they're teaching us to be women. They want to teach us how to be a woman. They're teaching us how to run a household if we pay attention to them. Sometimes they may not tell you how to run a household, but they're showing you how to run one. They're showing you how to have strength and stamina, especially, and I mean, no offense, but as a Black woman, a lot of times they've done some things a lot differently. There's a different load that they carry because a lot of them are single mothers, and so we learned just how to do things the way we saw our mothers do it. And so that's my mom was pretty tough on me coming up, and I didn't like it then, but I appreciate it now. I appreciate her at that time when I would say she was making me pray, but I appreciate that she taught me how to pray, because when the world is going on and I'm in chaos or something is going on, I know what I saw. I saw my mama go in the room and get on her knees. I seen her walk around a building praying for the job to stay, and fasting and praying and walk around around the building like Joshua, and them shouting, and these people being able to keep their jobs for years to come behind two people coming, touching, and agreeing, and praying for something. I saw her go to work and take care of me the way that I deserve to be taken care of. And so the discipline part came from me not listening, from me doing things that she said not to do. I got myself in so many situations that were unnecessary, but had I listened the first time, but a lot of times, we think we know it all. Back then, you couldn't tell me not one thing because I already knew it. I knew, I know, mama, I know,
That part.
and it's like, I know, in my head, I'm like, I wish she'd just leave me alone. I already know, but you acting like, and so it wasn't until I had the experience of raising kids myself at one point, and I had to tell one of the kids at one time, I was like, listen, you only have this number of years of experience, and it's your experience. It's from your lens, and majority of the time it's a blurred lens because you are considered to be a privileged kid. And so a lot of times we were, if we were 17 years old, we only had 17 years of experience in our from our lens. And and us as kids, we making up stuff. Our mama mean, she this and she that, and she don't understand me, blah blah blah, right? But our moms were probably 40 years old at that time, and so they had 40 years of experience that we had never gone through, and to this day we've never experienced some of the things that they had gone through, you know. And so we didn't like it because, yeah, I can say a lot of times my mama got on my nerves because I was really a daddy's girl. I was really like always telling my daddy on my mama. Like I couldn't wait for him to pick me up so I could tell what she had said and did and how she did this and da 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 da. But I appreciate it so much more now because it has shaped me to be who I am today, especially when it comes down to knowing how to take care of myself spiritually. And so that's
Mhm.
what I have.
I agree with you. Another thing that I would say is, um, start early on to deal with your trauma, to deal with the trauma that you've experienced, right? And not only that, if you see red flags in any relationship, right, whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, in a business, whatever that thing is, if you see the red flags, acknowledge it and rectify it at that moment, right? Um, Hold whatever that person is accountable in that moment, because that's going to set the standard, right? In how their relationship is, no matter what their relationship is. Because one of the things that my mom used to always say, the way you start a relationship is the way you're going to end
Yeah, that
it.
part.
That's the truth, right? And then when it comes to healing, when you don't heal from in relationships, if you don't heal from the trauma that you've experienced in other relationships, you're going to take that trauma from their relationship into the next relationship. And if you don't heal from childhood trauma, you are going to be a grown adult, acting like an 8-year old child or whatever child that you were affected by trauma to things that happened to you in your adulthood from responses from childhood, and not understand that those are tied to each other, your emotions, right? But really rectifying those things and going through healing from the trauma, because it definitely affects you in every area of your life. So that would definitely be some advice that I would tell, my younger self, because I can't go off the example of my mom because I never seen her do any type of work when it comes to healing. Right? Of course, I saw her pray. Saw her read her word. I saw her worship. I saw her do all of those things. But to actually do something to deal with the trauma, I didn't see that. For her thing to suppress the things that she went through was to relax her nerves, was to drink her favorite beverage and to smoke cigarettes, and all those things were harmful to her. And so my advice would be, don't do things that's harmful to your body to deal with the stress or to deal with the trauma that you may be experiencing or have experienced. It's okay to get help, right? It's okay to sit on somebody's couch if you have to sit on somebody's couch. If you don't want to go to a therapist in this day and time, there's no excuse not to get the help. You can get a life coach, you can get self-help books, you can get digital courses, it's so many tools and resources that you can use. You can get a coach. I'm a healing coach, right? You can get a coach to help walk you through those things. Because guess what? If you don't heal from those things in your earlier years, it is going to follow you throughout your life. And you're going to always constantly come to that brick wall in certain things when you are triggered by certain things. So you definitely should start to do the healing work and understand red flags, right? And understand setting boundaries, right? And that also go to one of the things I think I seen Miss Vanessa say that, or somebody say knowing their worth. Let me see who said that earlier.
I can't see all the comments for some reason. I'm trying to see them, but I can't.
Let me
I'm
see.
looking at my phone to see.
There you go, right there, sis. Look on the screen.
Okay.
I don't know if you can stroll. Let me see.
I
I'm
can
gonna try
see
to show
that,
it.
but I can't see. Maybe I'll make my screen bigger. Okay, I see it now. I was looking at it from my phone. As you were saying about, growing, one of the things I do know, and literally was talking to my mom about this when she was
Oh, that was
visiting this
just my.
past week, was I was watching a particular lady that's a deliverance minister, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that she was saying is that people, if something happened to you at the age of from the age of 7 years old and up, that trauma grows with you. And so a lot of people don't know how to deal with it. Like you just said, there's so many different tools. But thinking back then though, it was almost like taboo to go to a psychologist or to a therapist, because in our community, the minute that you heard somebody say they was going to a therapist, then the stigma was that they're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the case. And now we do have life coaches. You're a healing coach. I'm a life coach. I'm a purpose driven life coach, and helping people
Mm-hmm.
to tap into that. I'm able to listen to people. You're able to listen to people from a place where we're not judging them, and we're allowing them to talk that thing out. I have grown men that are allowed to just cry and feel comfortable and know that I'm not going to sit here and say anything to your body, because that cry was necessary, and they're going to cry that thing out and then they're good after that, because that's
Mm-hmm.
something they've been holding in for so long, because people made them feel like it wasn't okay to do that, and sometimes people just need a hug. Sometimes you just know somebody just need a doggone hug. I When my mama came here this week, I needed a hug, because back in the day, I didn't want no hug. I don't want to hear nothing you talking about, because I felt like she was mean. She wasn't being mean. She was trying to teach me how to survive in the future, and she was trying to make me have a backbone. But now I'm just like, I need a hug, and being able to get that hug, I'm good now. Because we do a lot for social media. We do a lot when we go to our jobs. We do a lot when we are around people that we care about, that we have this level of influence towards. But sometimes you just need a doggone hug from mama, or somebody that loves you. And it's like, if I'm thankful that that God has granted me the time that I have now, because I feel like I missed a lot of time with my mother, because I feel like I ran away from the connection with her when I was younger, because I thought I knew everything, and I traveled different places, and I moved away to not be there, to avoid those types of conversations. Or when she was, when my mama, one thing, my mama is a praying woman, and when the Holy Spirit had something to say to her and showed her something, I was scrambling. I'm out of there, because my mama would look at me and be like, you can lie if you want to, but the Holy Spirit, and I'm like, golly, the Holy Spirit like to tattle, huh? I got to tell what the Holy Spirit here right now. But now I won't. I'm leaning and depending on him and her.
That part. That
Like,
part.
man, he never tell a lie. Like, I'm scared to lie. But yeah. So what you
Gotcha.
got? What you got?
So what I would say is, when it comes to having a relationship with your mom, like Toya, I tell Toya all the time, embrace your mama, love on her, because I wish I would have been this version of me while she was still here, because it would be so different, you know. So if you have that opportunity to just think about some things, and one of the things that I would say is give your mama grace, give your
Mm-hmm.
parents grace. Y'all got to think about it. Think about you as a parent. Sometimes we are like big kids still trying to figure things out. So just imagine what your parents were. They were your age trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
And guess what? They didn't have the place and the time like we have now, right? To where it's okay to to do that healing. It's okay to talk about your childhood trauma. It's okay, to be open about those things. There wasn't a place that they had. They didn't have those rooms, safe places, right? To have those conversations, to get those things out. And so that's why you have a lot of the older generations that were part of the crack, what was they called? The crack era, or the cigarette, the tobacco era, the alcoholic era, all of those different things, because they ran to those things to try to find a place of release, right? To suppress those things and to make them feel better. And so give them grace to know that they are human, that life was lifing for them, and they were still trying to figure out, like, they had demons that they was fighting and
Yeah.
didn't know how to fight those demons, right? Because that's one of the things what I had to do to heal when it comes to my daddy issues. Well, I don't have daddy issues now, but I did. I had daddy issues because my father was not there when I was younger growing up. And so I had those issues. I was angry because I didn't know how to be loved properly by a man, because I wasn't shown that when I was when I was younger. And so, and he just wasn't there present in that moment. Yes, we have an amazing relationship now. We do. But it came with healing. It came with forgiveness. It came with giving grace, right? Understanding that he was human, right? I don't know what all went on between him and my mom. And it ain't my business to try to figure it out. But what I do know is, from the time that we had made the decision that we are going to mend this relationship, to take hold of the time that we have left, right? My mom is no longer here. So all I have is one parent. So now I have the opportunity, right, to build that relationship with him. And I'm gonna tell you too, like, this is another thing that I would say early on: learn how to pray, because prayer really does changes things. Because I remember when I was a child, in my bed at night, praying for my dad, praying for him to get off of drugs, praying for him to come back into my life, and those prayers were answered 30 years later, y'all. So God hear the prayers, but you have to understand that prayers do work. It really does. And so grace is so needed, but healing is so needed, and forgiveness is so very much needed. So
Yes,
much very
absolutely.
needed. Anything you want to add to that, sis?
No, that was good. I was just thinking when you said your mom is no longer here, and you had a good relationship with your mom, and the distance with your dad, and my dad now is no longer here, and I kind of had a distant relationship with my mother, because I ran from correction, and now that my dad is gone, I've it's like God knew what I was gonna need in this time, because I was truly a daddy's girl. I looked forward to my dad picking me up. I looked forward to calling him all the time and asking him questions. I picked his brain a lot. And so the relationship that I have with my mother now is needed for me. And I'm like, the time that I have with her, she's 70 years old. And so the time that I have with her is very important to me. And I'm like, I'm fighting for my freedom, because the most important thing for me right now is to be able to spend that time and to get some of this knowledge and wisdom, so I can have that for my future. I
Mhm.
think that if we would ask, a lot of times we don't ask women questions. And I like when India Ari had the song, and she said, it says, if old people would talk to young people, and if young people would talk to old people, it would make us a better people all around. And I love that song, because we grow up again just thinking that we know certain things, but when I started doing like these interviews with my mom whenever she comes to visit, because I'm like, wow, I didn't know that about her. I didn't know she knew how to do that. I didn't know that. And I just find it very intriguing, because it's like she almost lights up a little bit, because she's answering something that probably nobody in the world has ever asked her. And so it makes me think about how they suppress so much,
Mhm.
because all they had to do at one point in time, they were parents, they were workers, and whatever church they went to, they were doing the same thing over and over and over again, and never really stopping and being able to have that time to breathe, and to even see that they're truly valued. And a lot of the stuff that the women that have raised us have on the inside of them was buried, because there was nobody to pull it out.
Mhm.
There was nobody to ask them certain questions, and to see how you do certain things. When we think about our grandparents, like, you probably can think about, hey, I wish I would have asked Big Mama how to make this, or how to do this and how to do that. There's so many things I wish I would have asked my grandmother: how to cook and how to bake and how to form, because that's what she did. And I didn't have time for that back then. I'm doing what I want to do because Toya wanted to do what Toya want to do. And now that these people are that she's gone and some of the old matriarchs are gone, you
Mm-hmm.
you've lost um you've lost wisdom that you could have carried to the next generation. So it's important for us to now just the time that we have with our mothers, with our aunts, our grandmothers, the women that are meaningful in our lives, to ask questions, to have good conversation with them. Like you said, give them grace and
Mm-hmm.
show them that they're valued and that they're loved and they're appreciated, because you may be the only person that ever shows them that. And
Mm-hmm.
when they're gone, they're gone. You don't have that opportunity to do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what
So
I have
true.
on that.
I agree with that. I will agree with that. Another thing that I would say is don't be in a rush.
Yeah.
Don't be in a rush to try to get to the next level of something. Enjoy the moment of things, right? I always felt like I was trying to get to the next level, trying to get to
Yeah.
the next level of success, trying to get to the next level of this, trying to get to the next level of that. Learn how to embrace the moments and appreciate the moment that you are in, and take something out of that moment that you can take to the next moment, right? And don't take people for granted,
Yeah.
because life is so short. It's so short. Learn how to show people that you love them. You know, to be present, to show them that you value them, because those things are important. Now, that's one thing that I'm so grateful and thankful that I did when my mom was here. Every moment I got a chance, I would, definitely show her that I love her, give her some. She liked money. Give me some money. That's what she would always say. You want to give me some, give me some
All
money.
right.
All right, let me give you some money. Okay. Just so that they know that I matter. I matter to her, right? She really do care about me. She really do love me. She really rocking with me, right? So I would definitely say that. And um just really take the time to be in the moment, and also take the time to love on yourself. And as a woman, to advice to another woman, as a younger woman, I would say don't let yourself go. Continue to love on you, to take care of your body, to take care of your mind, to take care of you, right? Because you was a woman before you was that mommy, before you was that wife. You was a woman and you are a woman, right? So don't forget about you in the process. So I would say that. Back over to you, Toy.
Yeah, it is time is of the essence. And, just spending that time, like you said, just loving on them, valuing time. Because you can get material things back. You can get
Mhm,
we're both entrepreneurs. We can have a lot of money and then we can lose a lot of money, but because of the mindset that we have, we can get that money all over again. The one
mhm,
thing that we can't, because of what we know, but the one thing that we can never get back is the time. And I'm very serious in this season about my time being wasted, because I look at so many years of time that of that just went down the drain. And I
mhm,
just look at it and I'm like, it's just, I wish I would have been there. I wish I could have did this. And family photos, and I wasn't in them because I was running and doing what I wanted to do. And don't know this person and don't have a connection with that person. Why? Because I was running, and the time is just up.
mhm,
So now that I have the time, every chance that I get, I'm spending that time. Because when my dad passed away, it just let me see, like, you don't ever think that your parents are going to leave. They never prepared us for them leaving the earth. They prepared us for adulthood. They prepared slightly, they prepared us for adulthood. They prepared us for, doing a few things on our own. That they did the best they could with that, but they never taught us that, how to survive whenever they leave. as far as the emotional part of it. They were showing you things on how to live and survive, but the emotional part of it. And so the time that I have now, I spend it. And, I some phone calls I don't answer. If I'm spending time, I'm spending time. It's some places I don't go. It's some things I'm not going to do because the time is necessary, and it's very important to be present in the moment, because you can still be in somebody's company and not be present.
Mm-hmm.
You can be in somebody's company and you're not paying attention to nothing that they got going on, nothing they talking about, and it really was just a waste of time. And so I am very intentional in this season of my life with the time that I have my mother, and I don't let nothing or nobody deter me from that, because it is important. And anything that blocks your peace, anything that's blocking my peace in this season, and trying to take up my time, you getting blocked. You getting blocked. You're gonna
Amen.
you might get blessed, and you're gonna get blocked. So,
Mm-hmm.
cause I ain't got time for it in the season. I ain't doing it.
Hallelujah. I ain't either.
Yeah. Time
I
is of the
ain't
essence. Don't waste
either.
it.
Mm-hmm. And so, as we are in our last little leg of our call, one of the last things that I would say, to my younger version of me, or somebody that's starting over again, right? Um, if you're starting over again, know that you're not starting from scratch. You're starting with wisdom, right? And then I'm sorry, I got a bug that's in here. I live in the country. And then I want to say that, but I also want to say that do not be so close minded to things, to new things and things that you haven't heard of before, right? And I say that when it comes to like entrepreneurship, because if somebody would have really introduced and taught me what entrepreneurship was in my 20s, oh, I would be set as a 43-year-old, right? But I understand that things happen in the time that it's supposed to happen. But be open to all new things, right? Don't just um throw it out the window, right? Because don't just don't just throw it out the window because it's something that you are not familiar with, but really take the time to see what it is that you may be introduced to, because that very thing that you're being introduced to can definitely change your life. It can change your life. Go ahead, sis Toya.
Yeah, be open. Be open to new things. My younger version of me, if I was talking to the younger Toya, I would make sure that I use Matthew 6 and 33 to seek you first, the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things shall be added unto you. Because again, I can say I was a very hasty young lady. I was very hasty. I'm going from thing to thing to thing to thing, trying to find something, but not realizing that, the Bible is true. I don't care if you don't believe in the Bible or not. Something happens and something hits you differently when you turn 40. I'm 43 myself, but once you get to that age, you start to see things different. And I just wish that I wasn't so, I guess you could say, ignorant. I was just, you wouldn't,
You was
you
ignorant.
couldn't tell I was ignorant. You couldn't tell me nothing. I knew everything. Whatever I wanted to do, I was going to do. And it didn't make any sense. And so if I would have really truly sought the Lord for
Mm-hmm.
things that I desired to do, and waited for an answer from the Lord and not from everybody else, and my own emotions, I would be so much further along as well. And the Bible tells you that my people perish for lack of knowledge. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
your finances perish, your time perishes, your health can perish, your relationships perish, your jobs perish, your
Mm-hmm.
opportunities perish. Why? Because he told you clearly, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And my mother was trying to teach me that, but I was running from the thing that she was trying to give me. She was trying to give me the word, and I didn't want it at that time because I had my own word. I
Mm-hmm.
got my own word. I was just seeking myself. And so much I've had to take so many unnecessary laps. And like the Israelites, 40-year trip should have only taken 11 days.
Mm-hmm.
But because of disobedience, doing what they murmuring and complaining, and that's what my journey was. I'm complaining because it ain't working the way I want it to work, and I'm mad and this and that. Well, it ain't working for you, baby, because you're not following the principles. You're not in your word. Your mama trying to give it to you and teach it to you, but she can't force you. Like she would
Mm-hmm.
always say, Mama can pray for you, but you got to pray for yourself. I done taught you, and I'm trying to teach you. I had a dusty Bible. I had an old dusty Bible, and got in there whenever I needed something, when I'm bugging the Lord for something. But other than that, I wasn't trying to do that because I wanted what I wanted when I wanted it. And so I would tell the younger version of me is to slow down. You don't know everything. Take advice and seek wise counsel.
Mm-hmm.
Seek wise counsel. Ask the Lord for things, but then wait for an answer. Wait for an answer. Don't.
Mm-hmm.
I was answering myself. The Lord said, I prayed about you. Prayed about, yeah,
That part.
yeah. He said, do it.
Yeah,
He
great.
said, and I'm out of here. Done. you know, I feel good about this. And then you back there looking stupid all over again because you didn't, just doing stuff dumb. And that's why I wrote that book, Dumb Kids Grow to Be Dumb Adults, because I did a lot of things that delayed my growth and blocked my blessings. And so I try to share that with people because doing those types of things, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have had some of the trials and tribulations and the heartache that I had to go through because of my own ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I have. I know we at the top of the hour now at this point to start wrapping it up.
Yep, we are. And so as we wrap this up, I'm gonna, just piggyback off my sister, where she says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God." Like truly have a relationship with God for yourself. Don't go off of what your pastor say. Don't go off what your mama say. Don't go off what the person next to you say. Have a personal relationship with God for yourself. And when you do that, you really will be able to understand who you are, right? And who you belong to. And when you understand that, you'll be able to move so much different in this life, right? Um, get to know your father, get to know your creator, get to know who has really brought you in this world, right? And really take into consideration that when you do stuff, it's based off of what God think about you and not what people think about you, because that would stop a lot of people from operating in their purpose, operating in their greatness, because they so busy trying to be people pleasers. So instead of trying to be a people pleaser, be a God pleaser. Please God. Please Jesus. Please Yeshua. Yahweh. Okay? So that's what I would say. Have a personal relationship with God for yourself. Um, and just really evaluate your life and ask yourself, self, do I want to stay on this path where I'm at? Right? Do I like where I'm at? And if I don't like where I'm at, what am I willing to do to get where I desire to be? And do some course correction. As long as you got breath in your body, that means you have the opportunity to do some things different in order to get different results. You don't have to stay stuck. That's the thing. That's what happens to a lot of people. They stay stuck and thinking that they got to stay there. You don't have to stay there. You do not have to stay there. Know that if God wakes you up, that means he is not through with you yet. And if he give you the ability to use your limbs, use them. If he give you the ability to speak, speak. If he give you your ability to see, see. Your ears hear, right? And just do it. Because again, tomorrow is not promised. Don't take it lightly that you wake up. Like that is a gift every single time we wake up. It's not a guarantee. We go to bed with the expectation to wake up tomorrow. It's not promised. I saw that with my 20-year-old cousin. when she died in her sleep, we all had the expectation that she was going to wake up the next day, right? When she went to sleep that night. But she did not. And we don't know if we're going to wake up the next day. So you have to really take the time to think about your life and what am I doing meaningful in my life outside of money? What am I doing that God has called me to do? And if you don't know what that thing is, ask God, what is my purpose, God? Show me what my purpose is. Show me how to get out of this dark place if I'm in a dark place. Show me, and He will. I promise you, y'all. You guys are looking at two healed, whole women, right? But we ain't always been like this. We have been in broken places. We have been in places where dark places. Like, okay, God, it's nobody but God that came and brought us out. And if He can do it for us, He can do it for you. And know that it's not over if He wakes you up to see another day. So that's all I got. I'm gonna see if Toya has some closing words that she want to say to you guys before we give out that final wrap. Y'all know I'm a marketplace minister. We marketplace ministers. We close stuff 2 and 3 times, right? So Toya, I'm gonna throw it, fumble it, toss
I
it,
think I
whatever.
think you pretty much you handle it. We are not promised tomorrow, and the people that you love, give them their flowers while they are alive. Give them their flowers while they are here, and make the time matter. Make that time count. um that's what I would really say. Just, and yes, as Pastor Tiffany even said too, as long as you have a pulse, God has a plan. So
Mm-hmm.
instead, don't take it for granted. So don't take people for granted. A lot of times we can take people for granted. We assume that they're going to be here. We assume that, when we say somebody, I'm gonna see this person next week may never come for you, or it may never come for them. So do things while you have the time. Plan things out accordingly. Of course, it's up to God, if those things come into fruition, but do things where God is first, and you are in a place where you're not in a hasty spirit. You ask God to show you and lead and guide you and direct you. And if there's anybody that has broken relationships with their mother or with their father, or parents in general, I just encourage you to work on fixing that, because it's a different story when you stand over that person's casket,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a different feeling. It's a different emotion. It's like I don't even know how to explain it, because it's I'm still numb to what I've seen. And it's like once you see that, you just realize, like, it's done. But I would rather be somebody crying because I'm gonna miss that individual, than crying because I regret the relationship that I could have had with that individual. And so yeah, that's all I
Mm-hmm.
have. We good. You know, I,
I agree. I agree. Yeah, we love you too, Miss Vanessa. Miss Vanessa said, I love you, ladies. This was a twist
we love
tonight.
you too.
The word
And
was
we
delivered.
definitely thank everybody for engaging with. I want to say that I want to shout out everybody that
Yes,
has put some comments in here, everybody that spoke to us, everybody that talked back to us, everybody that gave a
yes.
heart, an emoji, all of that. We want to say thank you, because sometimes when you're looking at it, I'm trying to look at my phone, I'm trying to look on the screen, and we're having a conversation and trying to remember what to say. It can be a lot trying to do, and so I never want to miss anybody. Now, we don't want you to even think that we don't appreciate you, or you engaging or watching with us.
Mhm.
It is definitely appreciated. So we thank you for all of that. It does not go unnoticed, and so we want to give you your flowers. I want to definitely give you your flowers now.
Yes,
You are
yes.
appreciated. We don't take this for granted. As we build this thing, we're hoping that we can touch the lives and hearts of many people all across the world. And,
Mhm.
just one person at a time, one day at a time, one week at a time, we're looking to, bring some humor to you all. Y'all know that me and Cheryl have been friends for a minute, and we're doing this, but it's unfiltered, because these are not planned conversations. We don't know. I was laughing earlier. I couldn't get myself together, so these are not this is not a planned podcast. We discuss the topic that we're going to talk about, but how it's going to flow, we just let God do his thing and we go from there. So that's all I have, and I hope you all have an amazing night on tonight. Thank y'all so much for
Thank you
listening.
guys for watching. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to Unfiltered Tea. Let me add it in the comments right quick. Let me add in the comments right quick so y'all can subscribe to our channel. And I just want to piggyback off my sister. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate you guys as followers and also as customers, right? Because we're grateful for those that are customers of ours, those that are business partners of ours. We don't take that lightly at all. That you trust us enough for us to teach you something, right? And so we are grateful and thankful. I'm gonna put it in mine. I'm gonna put it on yours too, Toya. It might not let me
Okay.
put it on yours because it's a link. But add it to your comments, Toya.
What am I adding?
I just sent it to you. Our YouTube channel. All right, you guys. So if it was good for you on tonight, make sure you
What am
put
I
a
doing
one in
with
the
this?
comments. Put a one in the comments and share it with somebody. And make sure you guys go to our YouTube channel, subscribe. We go live every single Sunday night at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you're watching the replay, do pound replay in the comments. If you watch tonight, come back in the morning and watch it fresh, right? With fresh ears and fresh eyes, and take something else new away, right? But we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And we will see you guys on next Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. This was
I'm willing.
Unfiltered Tea with City and Cheryl. And we see you guys on next Sunday. Talk to you guys later. Love you guys.